Hello everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. Quant on our radar. QUANT on the exchange. QNT actually, apologies. Guys, taking off from here, very interesting. So what's happened in the last few days? Of course, we've had the crazy US hike rates. We've had the Biden administration discussing the executive order of the digital dollar. The race, guys. The race for CBDC development worldwide. But I want to talk about that in an aspect as well, revolving around Quant. Of course, we know heavily involved with the Digital Pound Foundation, Hyperledger, all the other great projects that are occurring behind closed doors and way out of mainstream media knowledge for sure. What's interesting is there's always references from Quant to the Digital Pound Foundation. This is a topic we covered last year when we first heard about the development of this, arguably an organisation, if you want to call it that. Partly run as well by BIS and Sunak, our finance minister here in the UK. They know what they're doing. They know what the plan is for sure. If you ever see any news, we're exploring, but we're probably not going to do it. That is a load of nonsense. Absolute load of nonsense. It's coming. It's just a question of when. Not so much when, saying that it's going to be immediate. This is something that just can't happen overnight. You're talking about cross-border payments here. Everyone kind of needs to be on board, right? Now, I can't say certain things on here. Because the last time I tried to, the video got taken down. But one thing's for sure, maybe you can get the gist of something I'm saying here, is that some countries have been trying their own systems, and basically the world doesn't like that. So what we're trying to do is get ourselves onto one pure system. Obviously, each country and region will have its own system aspect and its own currency, but it will work on one unified system. That's not to say it's going to be one blockchain. I think they all need to work together for sure. But Swift is outdated, and that's what I'm leaving that conversation as. But for sure, CBDCs is the answer. I will reiterate what we did in a video before, and I will leave it at the end of this one. Some article was made a few weeks back. Really interesting read and really interesting take on the bad side of CBDCs, the control mechanism opportunities, the potential violation of human rights. Very, very interesting. But on the other side as well, the speed up of payments, the tracking, the traceability, the removal of fraud, manipulation, money laundering, tax evasion will help the economy grow. There are two sides to this coin. Excuse the pun. It's not actually a coin, I guess. It doesn't even exist. It's just in mid-air, like paper money, just made out of nothing. But here we are. So this particular piece of information here, the success of Project Jura. Now, for some reason, people still don't believe this, but we cover Project Jura and Helvetia as well, to be fair, many times last year. And the development, even in phase 2 of Helvetia, if you don't know what I'm talking about, by the way, go and check out our previous videos. I'll try and leave links at the end of this one as well. But guys, these are massive. These are literally trialing a whole entire system between a multitude of different countries around the world. In particular, for this one, I think it was France, Switzerland, and another country. I can't remember the other one. But 6 interbank, absolutely huge. There's big link ups with the likes of R3Corda and all of this lot. But of course, Quant are involved as well. Major mentions here on the Quant website about Jura. Accenture are huge. If you managed to get a chance to watch the webinar that was, I think it was last week or the week before, had people from Quant, Accenture, and a couple of other projects as well that are well known. Absolutely fascinating. The push is clear to try and get hold of this. Quant want to be a leading system in this. Absolutely brilliant. And I absolutely love the way they distribute their information. The communication on their website, the blogs, the information like these, really delving into why they're trying to do it, what they're trying to achieve, And they're trying to be the leading aspect in this, or one of, certainly towards the things like the Digital Pound Foundation as one example. But as we mentioned here, anti-money laundering, KYC, know your customer, fraud and risk. There's so much involved with blockchain and smart contracts in general. To have a pure financial system coming in would be absolutely crazy. Something you'd probably never see in a lifetime. These are those technological advancements that perhaps happen once in people's generations. But really, really cool. But leading on from that as well, coming off the back of Khalifa review of the UK fintech last year. Very interesting read, by the way. I haven't ever read all of this. I think I got to most parts that were very interesting. Go and have a read of this. I think you can get it on the service.gov.uk website if you want to. But very interesting information, a good review of the fintech situation here in the UK, but a good insight as well as to why there's such a big gap that needs to be filled by digital currency. But of course, as mentioned here, throughout the Biden's executive order and Digital Pound Foundation, which of course Quant are part of as a member. I think it was Ripple. There was Avalanche were on there. I remember this now. I remember the video that we did. It was Avalanche, Electronium were involved. There was a couple of other ones as well, but for sure, many others to come. Stellar, I think, is part of this Hyperledger, which we'll go into in a second as well. So yeah, very much the take from the Digital Pound Foundation, welcoming. From the Digital Pound Foundation's perspective, we welcome this executive order and look forward to seeing the tangible outputs of the report later this year. Really looking forward to that as well, by the way. Discussions on CBDCs, a wider ecosystem of both public and private new forms of digital money. I will just reiterate as well, we do cover XinFin XDC. That pinpointed part here is very important, public and private. There are many projects like Quant, like XinFin, that can accommodate both private and public ledger systems, entire systems, with unbelievable transactional power, speed, efficiency, cost efficiency, all of these crazy things. But very, very interesting to see the development. I think we've got the Davos agenda coming up soon as well. It's going to be very interesting to see the developments of the finance sector in there too. Those that don't know Davos, it's run by the World Economic Forum. If you don't know the World Economic Forum, I definitely suggest watching some of our previous videos. This is all connected. All connected. Supporting members of Hyperledger Foundation, who are also massively part of the Digital Pound Foundation, many other CBDC projects and digital currency projects around the world as well. You will see some big names in their members section. We've covered this many times before. Accenture obviously still up there. JP Morgan, IBM. IBM, by the way, have a phenomenal blockchain technology system being built. And it's not something you can invest in like through crypto, from what I gather. But very interesting to see their development, because they are, of course, a massive company, probably about 100 years old now, I'd have thought. You've got all these big sort of credit companies, tech companies, and particularly 5G related ones. Wake up, people. Bosch, of course, they do so much. They don't, by the way, just do washing machines, guys. Trust me, go and look into Bosch. They're absolutely humongous with what they do. Again, telecoms, DLT ledgers, and very interestingly, Hedera Hashgraph, HBAR. Absolutely phenomenal project. I've been holding that for a long time. You've got the likes of Oracle on here, of course. Here's the guys, Quant, R3, Corda, very heavily related to XDC, XinFin. Ripple, here we go. Some bigger names coming through the crypto sphere. Swift, obviously. We've got Visa on here, Walmart, Verizon, massive. We've got, where are they? Come on. Bank of England, of course, have to be involved. Chamber of Digital Commerce, this is going to be very interesting. And there's a lot of universities getting involved in this now as well. Back end, building a new generation of developers, powering the system. Ethereum, of course. I'm just going to scroll down a bit further. Mobi, we cover this quite a bit. Really interesting project, really interesting technology, linking up a load of different projects for that automated system. ICC is of very importance in international computing. And I do think, here they are, Stellar. Guys, could go on forever with all this, but that's just giving you a brief foundation as to all these companies being involved. This is why I say there's no consensus, by the way. Forgot to mention that. There is no way you can just have one winner in this. They will have to work together to some aspect, particularly for this part, interoperability. If you want automation, API learning, machine-to-machine learning, you need interoperability with a multitude of services that are basically enabled to be autonomous. Autonomous is coming. This will be affected with CBDCs as well. Quant are massively behind this. I'm super excited. Quant is something I got only recently. I have known about them for a long, long time, but the price point finally came back to a position where I was like, I've got to snap this up. That's not financial advice. It's just personal movements. We're going to look at the chart as well right now. Do make sure, if you have not done so already, smash the like button and the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the bell button as well to get notified of all the awesome videos we have coming away. So Quant, guys, as I just mentioned, came back into this lovely area here of under $100. Came around to about 87. I was snapping them up around 90. Absolutely over the moon with that. Prices we hadn't seen really since June and July last year. It took up massively. Look at that. Big tail up. $429. Very nice return for those that have been holding Quant a long time. Do you know what? Some people have been commenting that they purchased Quant at under $10. You crazy people. You clever people. But I'm certainly late to that pie. But I don't think I'm late in terms of the longevity of this project, where it's going. And that accounts for other projects as well in this space. Trust me, people always go on about XRP's low, Stellar's low, XTC's low. When they switch CBDCs on, aka their utility of the tokenomics, these prices will be long gone. Long gone. These are huge. You think about the utility tokens. I say utility, I'm talking about projects that have done really well, that have exploded from like really small prices to high prices and now staying there and increasing. That is because they have got their purpose ready. DEX platforms, for example, DeFi platforms, dApps, massive, humongous growth happening right now. For the CBDC related ones, of course, there's still a good mechanism behind them, Ethereum being one of them, of course, for a big power state of them. But for these projects in the background that people perhaps haven't heard of as much, my goodness, when these get turned on, wow, I'm really excited for that time. And you know what? We went through the program, I think it was a few videos back. Sorry, I'm going off the chart here. Where it showed the planogram of the CBDC development and these Helvetia projects, the Jura projects, and what's going on with BIS. And it was literally between the latter stage of this year and into next year is the full testing phase. By 2025, the project stops. Why does the project stop? Because it's launched. I think and believe, I always believed 2025 was a very interesting year anyway. And it's very close to the 2030 Agenda 30 program. Go and read that document, very interesting. Sustainability, development of humanity, anything and everything you could possibly think of in the world. Controlled, managed by the World Economic Forum, by the way. But back to my point is I think and I feel and I believe that these coming couple of months and maybe 1 or 2 years is a really big opportunity to accumulate these. Not financial advice. I just feel that the end game is going to be nearer that time with a full phase out over those years to come leading up to 2030. Price point wise for Quant, guys, right now is still very nice and poised at this level around $110. So if you miss these lower regions, I'm not saying that it's not going to come back down to these areas, because I do think we might have one more or a couple more tests. Why do I think that? It goes back to my basis and philosophy around the fact that there are a lack of touch points. We only have here and here, 2, and this small area here, which was very feeble in my opinion. I would love it to see Quant come back under $100 again, especially to this buy order here that I have still at around $87. I still have my cheeky one back down here in case anything implodes on itself from some crazy narratives around the world further beyond what we've got now. That might be a dream, but for sure I'm still hoping for this area. I would love to buy more at this area, but I'm dollar cost averaging regardless. But for sure, my bigger bag is ready down here. So at the moment, the trend pattern is still in a slow pattern downwards. We can confirm that with the RSIs and everything still. We have gone into a bit of a bullish momentum of quant recently. We had a nice little bounce off here on the 15th of March, aka 2 days ago. News came out yesterday from the US hikes. Not really much interaction here for quant, and that's pretty much the same for most assets, to be honest. But with this bounce off coming shortly after the Biden administration stuff coming out as well around crypto, I'd be interested to see if we test these regions again, and that's where I think we might just possibly test those $105, $100 marks again, as we did a couple of times back here, I think, roughly 28th, 29th of February. So since then, it's been dragging itself above that 110 mark or around about that lower area. I'd love it to come back down. So that's what I'm doing in terms of my anticipations. I'm not expecting a huge, massive jump up from quant anytime soon. It's more playing out, trying to finalize this bottom period. I think we're all bored of it now. However, what I will say is the volumes everywhere are so low. Like, you can see this in the candle wicks. The volumes are so low everywhere. You can see it as well on the over purchasing and the under purchasing patterns. They're not huge spikes anymore. They're just consolidations. People wary of the situation around the world. Perhaps lack of confidence with the markets and whatnot. So we've got to take sometimes the opportunity. I am personally taking massive opportunities in these areas because I'm like, when it's quiet and boring, I love it. I love it because these are the areas where you look back probably, hopefully in a few months' time and go, oh, I wish I got more back then. And I'll probably still say that, even though I've been accumulating like an absolute nutter the last couple of months. I will probably still be saying that in a few months' time, regardless. But that's my thoughts and opinions. Let us know what you think in the comments below, not just about quant, the market in general. What have you been doing with your positions of quant? Are you looking for lower regions like I am? I'm really interested to know everyone's opinions. For sure, this is what the community is about, sharing ideas and thoughts. Yeah, let us know. Let us know as well about your CBDC thoughts. What are your pros and cons about it? And if you don't know much about CBDCs, definitely, obviously, check out some of our videos. Check out other people's videos. Check out research on the financial institutional websites, including government ones as well. You will find so much. You will never see this on the news. You will never see it on the news. You have to educate yourselves in your own way, unfortunately, these days. I switched off the news many years ago, and I found my new path here, crypto, digital, blockchain, and I will never look back with regret. Guys, I'm going to wrap that up there, finally, quickly. Still 161% up in the year, fantastic, but this low point is why I'm intrigued to see if we get any lower regions around the $100 mark. Just dragging slightly still in a negative pattern on the weekly, and the 3 months, albeit it is reducing significantly. The 3 months is looking a bit healthier as well. I want to see these come down over the next month. We'll have to see, but look at that pattern. And when you pull it out, you realize that quant is building itself nicely, but look at that trend downwards. It's now floating to a point. This is why I'm so interested around this $100, $105 mark now, because it's like it's almost going to complete the transitional process of a full line down, and hopefully that could be the bottom area where we go. We're ready for support here now, guys. Let's move up. That's me wrapping up quant, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll indeed see you in the next quant video update in a few days' time. Bye bye.